friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a get ready with me for this doll. I'm getting ready to put on sale, so we're going to dress her up, make her look cute, and also chat a little bit. And one of the things I'm going to talk about is depression, so if you're triggered by any of that, you might want to take notice and just adjust accordingly. But depression is something I've struggled with since my 20s. In my family, very much part of our DNA. So let's just get started here and help make this little girl cute. So this is a custom Blythe, a Blythe that I made. Her face has been carved and, you know, I don't want to say painted because usually it's really mostly pastels and watercolor pencils. She's had new eye chips and everything. So just want to give her a cute outfit, and I'm going to put her up on my Etsy site for sale. So if you haven't visited my Etsy site, I'll put a link in the description box for you, so you can take a look at some of the dolls I have for sale there. They come and go depending on, you know, what's sold, what's not sold, but most of the dolls I make on here do go up for sale unless I decide to keep them for personal reasons. So anyway, we're going to do this cute little outfit. I didn't make this. I found this, but I loved it because it has the little robot charm with the chain. I love that. It's so cute. And I'm going to use this hat and some socks we'll pick out, and shoes as well that we think go with the outfit. So let's get started. First, we're going to put this top on her. And if you don't know, Blythe's hands do pop off, so I'm going to pop those off to make putting the top on a little bit easier. Sometimes you can get extra hands for them too to have different hand gestures. So, you know, usually I'll try to include a set as long as I have them to go along with each doll. But, you know, part of the expense of these dolls is, for me anyway, I like to sell them with clothes because I just think they look cuter and they kind of go with their personality. I always think about the clothes when I'm making them. But also, the clothes are very expensive. If you've shopped for any Blythe clothes, especially on Etsy, they can be pretty expensive. So, you know, you have the cost of the doll and all the work that you put in, which is weeks of work, carving a face and repainting it, putting new eyelashes, the whole bit. But then there's also, you know, the cost of the shoes, the cost of the socks. Usually I do the hair. This doll, I liked her hair so much, I didn't want to. I just thought it was so pretty. But if I do, you know, I'm using like alpaca fiber, which, you know, is $20, $30, maybe more, depending on what I can, you know, resource at the time. So, you know, there's probably, you know, maybe $80 or more of clothing, hair, that kind of thing. And then you think about the work that you put into it. So that's why these dolls can be pretty expensive. Now, I know a lot of online sellers who do custom work sell their dolls without clothes just for that reason. Like, they can't get enough money. But I really like to sell them with the clothes so they come with their own little personality. And kind of as a starter doll, let's say you can't afford some of the more expensive custom dolls, you could start this way with a doll that already has an outfit. So, that said, so I do number all my dolls and sign them. That's my little special signature. So this has Velcro for the top, so we'll just get that done. And then this will be easy to put on. So depression, let's talk about that. So I like to talk about it because I'm not like ashamed of it or anything. And also, I think the more we talk about it, the more it becomes something that's part of everyone's lives and not seen as a stigma or misunderstood. Certainly come a long way since the 1900s when it was not understood, and I mean the 1800s when it was not understood at all, to the 1900s where it was kind of understood but still not able to be very well treated to some degrees. I think the introduction of Prozac was probably one of the best things that ever happened to depression. But even today, we know that these meds like serotonin uptake selective serotonin uptake inhibitors, which is what Prozac is, only works for about 40% of people. There's still a lot of people that aren't helped by the traditional meds. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But I've probably taken all of the different meds at one time or another. So they did help me survive, help me have a pretty successful life. I think I'm going to use these socks. I always keep a selection of socks. But I like this sort of like, they're sort of old-fashioned looking. I don't know, go with this outfit. Yeah, so I started noticing my symptoms when I was in my early 20s. I didn't really know what it was, even though, like I said, my mom, it's in my family, and my mom had suffered from it for her whole life. And it affected our family a lot. But I started having the symptoms, and I went to the doctor, not really for that, but while I was there, fortunately, that doctor recognized what was going on with me. And at that time, Prozac had not been released. So I was started on a med called amitriptyline, which is a different class of medicines. They're called tricyclic. For those of you who also don't know, I'm a nurse practitioner now, and that's why I think I can speak about some of this with a little bit of authority, because I do have the education and experience. So anyway, it did help me. It had some side effects, though, that were not great. So eventually, when I felt better, I stopped taking it and went for a few years without having depression. And then my depression is usually triggered by life events, and to the point that now it's just chronic and I have it all the time. So anyway, I'm 63 now. I'm, still working, and still, up to, say, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, just, I guess I survived well on traditional medicine, but the problem was a lot of times they wore off, and I probably never really felt like happiness, like that feeling of happiness or joy taking them. But, they did help me get through a lot of life. So I can't say anything really that bad about them, other than they just don't work for some people. All right, let's choose some shoes next. So you can see I have a lot of shoes. I just buy them when I see them, and these are kind of cute. Let's see what we think looks best. So we got these brownish ones, and then these that are more tan, which I'm not thinking they might be better. Yeah, I've got lots of different ones. I think these look probably the best. Have some just not boot shoes, but these, kind of shoes, like Mary Jane kind of shoes. But I actually think the little top, I love the little boots on Blythe. I think they're so cute. This is a nice case for shoes because it's double-sided. So I have those shoes, and then I have the shoes on this side also. Maybe someday I'll just do a shoe thing and show you all the different shoes. That'd be fun. But I think these will look cute on her. Yeah, so, if I ever am absent from YouTube for a while, it's usually because I'm overwhelmed, which is a symptom of depression, just to get overwhelmed with life or events. And, things can just be too difficult to accomplish. And I've kind of been going through that for maybe the past couple years. Mostly it's because we had to give up our dream of going sailing and move off of our sailboat and go back to living on dry land and become landlubbers. So that really affected my identity, and I had to go back to work. So lots of issues that went on, and I think I told you in my last video, we recently moved to Tennessee from Florida, so I'm really happy about that. I wasn't ever that happy in Florida. But about 3 years ago, I tried a new treatment and it really helped me, and that was ketamine. For those of you who don't know what ketamine is actually an anesthesia that was developed back in the 60s and is still being used today, even on children, so that tells you how safe it is. But they just started recognizing over time that as it was used as an anesthesia, people were really being helped a lot with their depression and anxiety. So they started doing research about that and started recognizing the effects of this medicine on different aspects of the brain than the typical antidepressants. So there sprung up a lot of IV clinics, IV meaning intravenous administration through a direct line into an artery or vein. Well, vein. So now, it's very successful. Like 90% of people respond to it, which is amazing for a medicine like that. However, the IV clinics were extremely expensive. I mean, we're talking, they started out being like, maybe cost you $5,000-$6,000, to go to the clinics and receive treatment. Who can afford that? And guess what? Insurance didn't pay for it. That's right. Despite all the research showing how effective it was, insurance didn't want to pay for it because it was expensive, and it's so much more cost effective for them to pay for your little pill. So, 3 years ago, a company called MindBloom started from a clinic in New York right before COVID, and they developed this rapidly dissolving tablet that you could do orally. And because of the issues with what went on in COVID, and you know what happened in New York, I mean, it almost shut down New York did shut down New York for a while. That clinic, was going to probably go out of business. So they started a program of at-home treatment. So MindBloom was really the first company to do that. And so they've been doing that now for 3 years or more, and very successful. And I found out about them and decided to try the treatments for myself. Now, a lot of people want to say that ketamine is a psychedelic. When they say that, they're referring to other medicines like LSD or psilocybin, which psilocybin is magic mushrooms, or MDMA, which is ecstasy. They are all being used now in trials for things like depression and anxiety, and things like PTSD and those sorts of things. So that looks so cute. Oh, I love it. Yes. So I decided, I'm going to try this. It's not a psychedelic. You do have possibility of, seeing images or things like that, but it's really, like I said, it's an anesthesia. All right, let's put her little hat on. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, I think that's going to turn out really nice. I'll put some pictures of her at the end of the video. I think that's going to be cute. So anyway, I did the treatments at home, and I have to say, for the first time in my life, I had a feeling like what it was to feel happy. That joyful feeling was pretty amazing. Time went on, and I actually started working for MindBloom. So I'm really fortunate that every day now I get to see people, broken people, people with severe issues of depression and anxiety, some with things like PTSD and other issues, and help them with ketamine treatment. So I've really started feeling better. I've actually started tapering off the antidepressant that I'm on, and who knows, maybe I'll be able to completely stop it. I don't know. If you're interested in this topic, or if you yourself have depression and anxiety that hasn't been well treated, you might want to check out MindBloom. I'll put a link to it. I'm not trying to sell it here. I'm just like to get the word out, because I think if people can be helped by things, hey, I would like to let people know about that. So anyway, I have started feeling better, and one of the reasons I started to be able to make videos again, also being able to get settled in Tennessee and have a nice place in my house to do that. So hopefully I'll be bringing you more videos soon, but right now, let's get this little girl up on Etsy for sale, and I'll see you guys soon in another video.